second. Now, please, I'm sorry. I'll just...
No problem, ma'am.
yeah, now you're able to see my screen, right?
No, ma'am. You can open your PPT first and you can click on screen share, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not able to see now?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's loading, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Now, wait 1 minute. It's clear, right? And my audio is also right, correct, right? All right. So as a psychologist, what is it that you are looking forward to? How would you like to serve the society? Are you equipped enough? Leave alone the academic qualification. But do you feel that as psychologists, you are in great demand now? Yes. Let me have a few chat sessions. I am not able to see the chat. Can you tell me?
Ma'am, you will be seeing like the 3 dots. If you're clicking on that, you can click on the option chat.
Yeah, I have. Okay, okay. Now I'm able to see. All right, I'm able to see.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So now, are you all equipped enough to be the psychologist? And do you feel that you have all that is required of a psychologist? What is it apart from your academic qualification? What do you think that you require to be a successful psychologist? Success just not in some terms of fulfillment or passion. Okay. Do you feel that there is a demand and that you are equipped to face that? Okay. Yes. Okay, so let me start off with, see, the present trend, it is a little gloomy. India is a country with 1.3 billion population, and there is a huge, huge demand for mental health professionals. I'm sure you all agree with me. With COVID, oh my God, my days have been so busy attending to various sections of society, although my niche, although I am a student counselor working in the Premier Institute, dealing with students in the age group of 17 to 30, adolescents and young adults, I have been receiving calls and video sessions and sessions after sessions from eclectic population, be it as old as 80, 85-year-old geriatric or the young child of 2-3 years, because the child gets the message of panic everywhere and there is so much of uncertainty, there is so much of confusion. I have had parents say, I don't know, my child is not behaving well. Can you please talk to my child? So there is a huge demand. While, can you tell me, you all as young budding psychologists felt that there is demand? Yes, there is demand. Am I being well compensated? And are the psychology graduates, postgraduate jobs, is it a lucrative career? What is your idea about it? Is it a lucrative career? Yes, and although it is mandatory for every educational institution to have counselors, is it a reality? When I was in Delhi, I attended a meeting. It was by Smriti Irani. She had initiated this. Like, what is it required for each and every university to have a counselor? Is it required? So we had a terrible deliberation of all senior psychologists. We sent a report, and of course, and then they made it mandatory. Every college, every school should have a counselor. Is it a reality? Is it happening? Is there so much of demand? Okay, there may be demand. Are all those psychologists who are graduates or postgraduates finding an appropriate placement? What is it? Because you are there in the field. I am a senior. For me, my bag is full. But I want to know the feedback. Are you all getting the appropriate job? Are you all being compensated? Are you all being well compensated for the job? Yes, there is a demand. All of us do agree. But are we being compensated? And moreover, we have to go within and ask ourselves, am I equipped? Yes, I know a few therapies. I know humanistics. As a psychology graduate, yes, I know humanistic Rogers. I know a little of, rapport building and listening skill. But am I being relevant to the present day with the technology? See, from yesterday morning, I'm sure you would have heard about technology singularity. You might have heard about AI. PSAIOLOGY, psychology is not PSY, PSAI, which is artificial intelligence driven. That is the basic theme of this conference. Are we all equipped to do that? Not that I'm scaring you, but see, approximately there are so much of demand. There is lots of psychological issues, but are we able to meet the need of the hour? What are all the challenges as a psychologist? Please mark if you agree with me with this. These are the challenges. You can tell me, and you can also tell me if there are anything more. There is lack of awareness and accessibility. Like yesterday, I heard Dr. Divya from Fortis. She was telling, yes, there is a demand, but are people aware? In cosmopolitan metropolitan cities, yes, people no longer hesitate to meet a psychologist or a counselor. But in the, what do you say, the second grade cities, in the small towns, yeah, are people still hesitant to meet the psychologist? Yes, it is an emphatic yes, because I know there are, what do you say, grade 2 cities in Karnataka where I have visited, where people still follow the age-old method. Oh my God, the spirit has engulfed her. They don't call it a mental illness. The spirit has engulfed. That is how she is suffering like this. They even go to the temples. They have the camphor burnt, or they beat the spirit through the broomstick. Even now in this 21st century, even in this decade, all that age old things are happening. Why is it? It's all because of the lack of awareness. There is lack of awareness is one thing, and there is lack of accessibility. People don't know whom to approach, how to approach, and how to approach the right person. Not that, oh, you do a diploma, you become a lay counselor, you can deal with human beings. My dear young psychologist, I would like to give you one warning. You are dealing with the fellow human being. So better, not that I'm scaring you, but better equip yourself. Equip yourself with the skills, the techniques, the latest technology, so that you are confident and you are going to deal with the fellow human being who is already tattered mentally. Or who comes to a counselor is a person who is so low in their emotions, who is really struggling. There is a real fight going on within. They come to us for relief. So let us not take things for granted under the pretext of calling myself a psychologist, a counselor, a psychotherapist. Just go get inside and see if you are equipped enough to deal with a fellow human being. Otherwise, no hesitation. Always meet your senior. Always have a mentor. Me, with 2.5, 3 decades of experience in psychology, I do have a mentor. I do get into some issues. Okay, if I'm not confident enough, I refer back. So it is always required that we have a supervisor. We are confident enough, we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. This is how you are going to change your role as a psychologist, so that people become confident, by the way you talk, by the way you establish the rapport, and you establish that trust and confidentiality. People should be able to pour out, and just the talking therapy alone can do a world of good, provided your body language, your empathy, that eye contact, everything is good enough. Okay, see, that is the reason, that lack of awareness and accessibility. We need to break the ice as psychologists. We have a great responsibility there. Meeting the psychologist is a taboo. You can tell people, no, psychologist is another human being who is going to be so much judgmental, so much away from your family environment. Psychologist is the only person who knows nobody, and you can come and talk to me anything and everything. I promise confidentiality, unless it is life threatening and you are going to commit suicide in an hour or two, and which has never happened in my career. So such assurance is what is required, so that you can break that taboo. Psychologists are undervalued and they are often dismissed. But when the family people say, when the young girl or boy goes to their parents and say, I'm really having some issues, I have anxiety issues, I'm feeling low, what do the parents generally say? What great issues have I not led with my life? What great life you are dealing that I haven't led? See, we also had the same childhood. We had the same adulthood. We had the same employment problem. They just dismiss it and rubbish it. Okay. And it is just, they're undervalued to meet a counselor. And there are people who have told me, grandmother is a good counselor. Yes, in those days when joint family was there, when we could just vent out, and when we had that support system, the family was a beautiful counseling unit. Not anymore. So we need to get that awareness, how important it is to meet a psychologist and get relieved. And poor salaries and job is another challenge. Students are discouraged by their family to pursue psychology. Psychology, what do you think? Do your engineering, become a software engineer. That is a place where you get your job. Okay, you do your psychology. What do you think is going to be your first month salary? Can you be independent? Can you take care of yourself? Do not support the family. This is what generally the people from the family ask, and they discourage. Okay, but you as young psychologists can always say, yes, I have this equipment. I have joined an institution where I can assure that I will be getting a job, and that I can prove myself, for which I need to have the required skills. Right. And then students, after having degree in psychology, look for jobs other than area. I know a host of psychology students. They tell me, and they come to me, they say, I'm doing my second year MA. I intend to do my NEET, or I intend to do my MPhil or PhD. And 6 months later, I meet them. They say, ma'am, I wrote a bank job and I am working there as a clerk. Ma'am, I went to a government service. Ma'am, I've taken a job as a teacher. And I mean, I think this is a very, very common phenomena. Do you agree with me? They take psychology as a passion after everything. And there is also one more, what is going on is, see, she has taken psychology probably because she didn't get admission anywhere else. And the other extreme is, I know IAS officer, I know civil service aspirants who have taken psychology as the basic subject, and they have done well. So it is the two end of the continuum. So it is where you belong. That self-awareness, you need to have the self-awareness, and that is how, therefore, they get into the phase of discouraging and confusing circumstances. So many of you may be in that stage now. Yes. Now, what is it that, see, how to plan your career as a successful psychologist? Today's session is addressing the challenging role of a psychologist. Okay, what are all that? First and foremost, I am sure most of you who are here, how many of you, maybe 400 plus people who are listening to me, plus many more, I am sure you have that passion to do psychology, especially psychology as a subject. It is people who have that inner desire, behavioral analysis. Ma'am, it interests me to know a human being, the working of their mind, the behavior, the brain, and that is so. Yes, passion is important, and your interest. All this together, combine your career. These are all the basic ingredients you require. Passion, interest, your attitude towards the subject, your attitude to the fellow human being, and your attitude to life in general. You need to have that positive vibe. You need to have that enthusiasm to celebrate life, as Kushi was talking to us in the previous session. Only then you can lend that energy to the person who is seeking counseling. Psychology is a wide, vast subject, It is a branch from philosophy. So we need to be philosophical. Psychology is just not about learning psychology. It's just not about the behavioral analysis or a few therapies, you need to be eclectic. Your personality should be all round. You need to know technology. You need to know your subject. You need to know everything about it. Madam Mayuri, how many more minutes do I have?
Ma'am, you can take 5 more minutes to wind up the session,
ma'am. Oh my God, 5 more minutes. Okay. So academic qualifications and certifications, yes, it is important. And then the relevance. the skills and experience, and relevance of the changing trend. I told you PSY is changed to PSAI, that is the artificial intelligence. You need to be tech savvy. You cannot say, I am a humanities, I am a social science student, I don't know technology. I am ready to learn the language Python. I am ready to do the machine learning and coding at my age, because I really want to do that. I want to know what is that bot chat about. How does heat analyze the neurotransmitters in my mind? How is it able to, with my eyeball pupilling, how is it able to know my behavior? What is going on? I am really curious, and I am undergoing a course. So that you need to be trendy. You need to be taking up your exams, learn and unlearn. See, you cannot be in the age-old techniques. Yes, psychodynamics, psychoanalysis, Freud, the father of psychology, all those are a foundation. It is required, but we need to go far beyond it to become relevant to the present day. You need to unlearn few techniques, because as the generation is going, I cannot say, oh, my daddy told me to shake hands with a man is no for me. I cannot be in that world anymore. I need to go along the trend. While I should know my boundaries, where to stop, how to stop, and how I'm going to equip myself. Like, I need to have my basic values. At the same time, I need to balance the present trend. That is where unlearn, learn, and relearn. Bibliotherapy is very important. Knowledge is power. Read, upskill, upgrade, and have a mentor and a coach. Self-management, as Kushi was speaking, or Sudhir Kakar was speaking about the unconscious, the subconscious, what is all fed to us in our childhood. We need to be self-aware, self-discipline, self-motivation, self-regulation, and self-compassion, of course, is most important. Psychology as a career with an uncertain opportunities. It is important to be relevant by empowering yourself with the appropriate knowledge to equip, enrich with the latest trend in the field, technology, experience, and practical application. All are required. You require the basic theories. You require the basic foundation. You cannot dismiss of, oh, the theory is available in the Google. No, you need to know. They are the foundations. They are the ABC. Unless you know the ABC, the theories of psychology, the background, theoretical knowledge is absolutely required. But it have to be combined with technology, experience, vicarious experience. You cannot, the age of 23, 24, say, how do I get my experience? So you meet the people who are experienced, who are going to tell you the real case stories. When I talk to you, probably in the sessions to come, I'm going to say, see, this was a typical case. This was how I took the history taking. This is how I did the therapy. And finally, what is the outcome? And how many sessions you can take? So when you talk to an experienced person in the relevant field, you get the vicarious experience, and the practical applications are all very much required for you to emerge as a successful psychologist. If you stick with the old saying, my method worked, my teacher taught me this, no, it gives an impression you aren't willing to accommodate the change. Let me hear, I'll be failing in my duty if I don't quote Wessler's definition of intelligence. What is intelligence? It is the aggregate of the global capacity of the individual to act purposefully, to think rationally, and to deal effectively with the environment. This is Wechsler's definition of intelligence, my dear friends. Intelligence is not about getting 9.9 CGPA. It is not about getting a host of certificates. It's not about degree. It is, again, I repeat, it is the aggregate of the global capacity of the individual to act purposefully, to think rationally, and to deal effectively with the environment, with the emerging technology. Okay, so here is our 3G School of Psychology, which is one appropriate platform, which is going to give all that I spoke to you now. That is your theoretical knowledge, experience through vicarious learning. We are going to have the experts from the field to talk about it. As yesterday Dr. Sahid sir was saying, when we are going to talk about the issue of abortion, we are going to call the topmost gynecologist who is going to give us the real life issues, and the psychologist to tell about what a woman who has undergone abortion is going to face. Similarly, we are going to give you a lot host of books, equipments, and the opportunity. So this is one school which is going to just train yourself with PSAI psychology. So you are going to become a career guidance, you are going to be a clinical psychologist, you are going to be a organizational psychologist. It's going to be all in one combined individual who can really face the challenge of the year to come. Thank you, thank you, thank you all, my dear friends. Wishing you all a very bright future. Thank you.